Really? Are you kidding me? What do you know about beginner sewing supplies? My understanding is that this new video that talks about beginner sewing supplies will be able to answer some of our questions. This video will cover the topic of beginner sewing supplies. Topics covered shall include beginner sewing supplies, popular brands of sewing supplies, and 5 tips to save money when buying sewing supplies. I was able to go online and find a Start to Sew kit by DRITZ, which is a major manufacturer of sewing notions. Now, DRITZ does not sell any of its products through its website, but it is sold through various outlets, including Amazon, JOANN'S Fabrics, Michaels, Walmart. The DRITZ Start to Sew kit contains 12 different items, including tracing paper, a tracing wheel, a pin cushion, a 60-inch tape measure, a needle threader, marking pencil, fabric scissors, hand needles, straight pins, a 7-inch hem gauge, a seam ripper, and a thimble. Michael's Loops and Threads Start to Sew kit looks very similar to that of DRITZ's, except that it has 10 items instead of 12. The difference between DRITZ's Start to Sew kit and Michael's Loops and Threads kit is that Michael's does not have pins, nor does it have marking pencil. The third kit is the Singer Beginner's Sewing Kit. The Singer Beginner Sewing Kit has 11 items contained in it, and compared to the DRITZ and the Michaels sewing kits, the Singer kit does not have tracing paper or a dart wheel, which is used to make darts for dresses and blouses that women have around the bust line for a better fit. What it does have, what the other two do not have, are spools of thread that are used primarily for hand sewing once the machine sewing has finished. And I would like to say that you can't normally sew everything on the machine. There may be some hand sewing that you have to do, whether it's to sew on a button or to complete a hem. So that's what the difference is with having these spools of thread here and not having them in the other kits. So I would certainly recommend that you purchase thread when you are beginning to sew. And in addition to that, these small little pins that they've got probably are not going to hold too much together. So I would recommend that you purchase your own stick pins, and that might include the ones that have the little balls on them. I prefer those because they're easier to see, and you can lose these other smaller pins, plus they don't look to be that sturdy. In addition to the supplies that are contained in the commercially available sew kits, one of the items I would like to recommend is for you to purchase a cutting board or a cutting mat, and there are 2 listed on this slide. One is a foldable cardboard mat, which you can purchase for less than $15, and a vinyl mat, which may not be less than $15, but it's considered to be sturdier, and you can actually purchase vinyl mats in a number of different sizes. But because we're working on a budget and I'm trying to save you money, I recommend initially that you invest in a foldable cardboard mat. In addition to the scissors that came with the sewing kits, I recommend that you purchase a small pair of snippet scissors, which can be used to cut thread after you finish a seam and you're taking the fabric off of the sewing machine. The scissors that came with the kit should only be used to cut fabric, and the reason is that if you use those scissors to open cardboard or cut things that are not fabric, over time they will become dull very quickly. So please reserve those scissors for fabric, and then you can use these to cut the thread when you finished with a seam. During a recent visit at the Hobby Lobby store located in Harahan, Louisiana, I took a picture of this display, which reflects popular brands of sewing supplies that include DRITZ, Fiskars, Sewology, which is the proprietary brand for Hobby Lobby sewing products, as well as Singer. I recently took this photo at a JOANN fabric and craft store located in Metairie, Louisiana, and I wanted to reflect a sale sign that showed that if you bought 3 spools of thread, you would actually get 2 free. And JOANN'S is a good place to really discuss ways to save money, which I'll get a little bit more into later on in this video. What I'd like to do at this point is to talk about money saving tips so that you can save money when you're purchasing supplies. One of the reasons that I wanted to look at the ready to sew, start to sew kits is that it was less expensive to buy the recommended beginner sewing supplies as part of a kit versus buying them individually. So let's get started. I have 5 tips to offer. The first tip is you should always plan your purchases and not just spend money on a whim, because sometimes you can wind up spending more than what you had planned to spend. Tip number 2 for saving money purchasing sewing supplies is to conduct research regarding sales cycles at JOANN'S, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, etc. On a regular basis, there are certain categories of supplies that are on sale at all of these stores. So by having a conversation with employees, you may be able to get some information from them regarding special sales that are not necessarily advertised. Tip number 3 for saving money buying sewing supplies is always comparison shop. Look at prices on Amazon, JOANN'S, Hobby Lobby, Walmart, Target, Michael's. Don't assume that just because you were able to get a certain supply at a discounted price in one store means that you'll be able to get a discount the next month at that same store. It varies from store to store and from cycle to cycle, so make sure you always comparison shop, even with Amazon. I wanted to spend some time on JOANN Fabrics. That is where I spend most of my time looking for fabric and notions. While most people hang out in the shopping mall, I hang out at JOANN's. JOANN Fabrics is the largest fabric and craft store in the United States with over 850 locations. And some of the strategies that I have used have saved me lots of money, but also it's a testament to the strategy that JOANN Fabrics has in getting repeat customers to come back. So I'm going to talk about some of these strategies to save money at JOANN's. Plan your purchases, just like I said before in a previous slide. Sign up for texting, email notification, the rewards program. All of those things can save you money. Monitor the weekly ads. You can go online and look, and also look on the app that's on your phone to look to see what the weekly ads are. But you can also get a monthly brochure that has what all of the planned sales are for the month, so that you can do a better job of planning when you want to purchase something. Also, if you download the app, what you will be able to find are extra savings that are not necessarily included in the brochure that you get. So make sure that you download the app for extra savings. You'll also have your rewards in there as well. And also, something that's really interesting is that you order online, and if you pick up in the store, and you go to your app or to the monthly ad that was sent to you, you can actually get extra savings. So let's say you wanted to buy a certain product today, but you could do without it for a day. You can go into the store, look at what you want, order it online, and pick it up either a couple of hours later or the next day. So you can save all kinds of money at Joann Fabrics. They always have get 50% off of a regularly priced item. Sometimes you'll get extra percentages off on things that are already on clearance or on sale. So there are lots of ways that you can save money with Joann's, but it requires that you become engaged in that whole process. So that's why I took a little bit more time to talk about Joann's, because that's where I save most of the money for fabric as well as notions, and you can too. And finally, tip number 5 says to monitor the weekly ads that Hobby Lobby runs, particularly looking out for 50% off ads for Sewology, which is Hobby Lobby's proprietary brand for its sewing supplies. This abbreviated video covered beginner sewing supplies, popular sewing supply brands, as well as tips for saving money when purchasing sewing supplies. If you found that this video was helpful, please click the thumbs up below to like the video, share your comments, and also please click on the red subscribe button below to receive notifications of weekly uploaded videos. And I thank you for watching.